going to talk about this former top prosecutor in Baltimore. I want to start with you, Representative Jackson. What do you make of Mosby and her trial? Some people have called it just a witch hunt. She is saying, look, I was really an inexperienced realtor. That's what the opening statement said in her defense. But other people are saying, no, you are smart enough to know better. You took this money. You've already been convicted of perjury. And now we have to deal with these homes that you got illegally.
You know, Candace, I'll be the first to admit, never to rush to judgment. I mean, you know, we got a situation right here in Georgia with that's prosecuting Trump. And, you know, when you get these allegations like this, immediately, you know, the narrative, especially if they are African-American, the narrative is immediately, oh, you're guilty. You should know better, right? But again, not to pivot, I'm looking at a 77, 78-year-old man where the judge continued to tell him, stop attacking an 80-year-old woman and you're going to be thrown out of court. But yet he gets a pass, right? I mean, we're making all concessions for him, but yet when we have a prosecutor, you know, that they say should know better, you should know the law, but yet we don't apply the same pressure to an individual that occupied the Oval Office, the highest office in the land. And so I try to look at things, apples to apples, Candace, to answer your question. Mm-hmm. I would finish my remarks the way I started. I won't rush to judgment. She doesn't have 91 felonies, 4 indictments, and 2 impeachments, right? We cannot have a false equivalency here and say, you know, what's good for the goose is not good for the gander. So I would just say, let this play out. I would pray that her case reveals that she is innocent until proven guilty. She is, we should give her a due process like everyone else. But when you have these kind of high profile cases, the narrative is just different when you're dealing with African Americans.
So both of the process, the due process you said as will be carried out in court after this trial might even wrap up by the end of the week. Randy, when you look at this trial, we're not only talking about her, we're talking about her husband. Divorce papers all barked here. She is saying that she thought her husband was going to take care of the taxes that amounted in tens of thousands. A lot is being put on a husband. These prosecutors are saying, listen, don't worry about the husband. Just worried about the woman that you see in front of you. What do you think about the potential of her maybe even taking the stand?
I think she will take the stand. I believe she has to speak up for herself because there's so much attention being paid to her, and people will expect her to be able to defend herself. What I feel, and of course, you know, we all experience life through our own personal experiences. It just seems like here you have a case where a Black woman is expected to know and be all things. So because she's very versed in certain areas, of course, she also is supposed to be, you know, an accountant, a realtor, a broker, and not to make any mistakes. And seeing, you know, they keep calling her a liar over and over again and not given the benefit of the doubt that she may not have known. You know, people can say ignorance of the law is not an excuse, but it does play things very differently than if someone were, you know, purposefully negligent or creating a criminal act. It also does, you know, to see those foiled against what's happening with the man who's running for president right now. It's just absolutely disgusting right now. It's hard for me to even take it seriously. It's just, to be honest with you.
And Dr. Ali, do you think that if this had been, Marilyn Mosby, the teacher in Baltimore, living a quiet life, that this is someone that anybody would have even been paying attention to? Would you say that it's her position that really has put her on the chopping block?
Oh, it's most definitely her position. It is, as Randy said, there is an element of her being a Black woman, being a leader. Of course, we all understand also when you take those leadership positions that there is going to be a spotlight on you, not only when you're holding office, but even afterwards. So you just have to understand that. But I'm also a big proponent for equal justice under the law. So we got to make sure that that's going on. Folks have talked about Donald Trump a little bit, but if you take a look at this case and you also take a look at some of the charges that are against him, there are some very similar aspects, except he's, inflated things to tens of millions of dollars, where that's not the case here in Maryland. And since I know a number of folks in Maryland and in Baltimore, there was some of a group of folks who also were out to get her. So I'm not saying that she did or did not do anything wrong, but when you enter into the world of politics, you'll have to understand that in the slightest impropriety will be amplified. So we'll see how it all plays out.
Representative Jackson, I want to close with you on this topic. If she is convicted, would you foresee her going behind bars based upon some of the cases that we've seen before? It seems to me like we've seen a lot of people, especially in politics, do a whole lot more and get that slap on the wrist.
When I think about the justice system and what the justice system has been for us the last 400 years, it has never been equal. And so a lot of my colleagues, including myself, we always talk about not just reform the justice system, but to reconstruct it. So that way, when these situations occur, regardless of if you have melanin in your skin or not, what that punishment should look like. Here in Georgia right now, Candace, we've taken some laws that were misdemeanor for decades and we're turning them into felonies. We just had a law 2 weeks ago where the minimum mandatory sentence was 2 years. Now it's going to be 10. So before you even enter the courtroom, your minimum mandatory sentence is 10 years. And 98% of these cases end in a plea deal. And of those 98%, 80% are African American. And so we don't know if she should end up behind bars or not. I'm just saying the system itself, in the words of the person that has 91 felonies, he said the system is rigged. Yes, it's rigged for him because the average individual with 91 felonies and being a retired naval officer, if you had one piece of classified material, one piece, he had 400 pieces of classified material in Mar-a-Lago. Candace, we put people in Leavenworth like yesterday. That's what we did as a commander. And so that's why it's hard for me to rationalize, to Randy's point, to look at one case over here and say this person should end up behind bars, but this person would have a greater gravity on these United States, and he's still walking around, no ankle bracelet, and just seems like nothing's going to happen. That's hard for me.
There are a lot of moving parts in the justice system. Or as you said, depends upon where you are, depends upon who's in that jury, depends upon how your attorney is advocating for you and who you can afford. It all adds up to, you just never know what will happen.
A new year for a new you. Curl Prep Natural Hair Solutions at curlprep.com is an amazing organic line for curls, locks, braids, twists, and even those wigs and extensions. Women, men, and children are loving this line. Look at this video and you be the judge. People line up to see this product in action at hair shows, and when they take a seat and try it, they don't believe it's their hair. Buy the products at curlprep.com. It works on all hair types. Use code ROLAND, that's ROLAND, lowercase letters, to get a 15% discount. Parents, remove the ouch. You will love this system because you can comb the product through your child's hair with your fingers. Seasoned saints are loving the product. It's all at curlprep.com. Use code ROLAND, lowercase letters, to get a 15% discount. You won't believe it's your hair.
Give me that bass, give me that beat.